Welcome to the Excel Purpose Show with Counselor.
Today we have Brian Price. He is soon to be author, dad, husband, coach, speaker, all the fun stuff. Really good to have you here today.
Thanks for having me, Carms. It's so fun.
Yes, you're one of the people that's just like glowing in positive energy. And I just met you in like Miami, a few weeks ago. And I'm like, didn't really have the chance to meet this guy. I need to know more about him. So that's why we're here today.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, likewise, right? I mean, with what we just accomplished a couple of weeks ago, we didn't have a lot of time for that. So here we go. We get to do it now.
Yeah. So tell
Yay.
me about your journey. How did you get excited to like want to be a speaker, want to lead people on this mission of like be extraordinary, which I know is where you want to charge towards. Tell me about that.
Yeah. Well, my journey to being a speaker started many years ago. In my own journey, obviously, I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm an entrepreneur, and it came to us in 2013 when our marriage was almost on the rocks for the second time. You've heard my story, but
I have
I had
heard
the
the story. It
yeah,
was a
you
wonderful story. Please share it with the audience.
I'd love to. Yeah, in 2013, I was introduced to this idea that Brian, you need to do some personal development. Your marriage is on the rocks, and your wife is going to leave you if you don't do something about it. And I wasn't sure what to do in that case. Personal development, what is that? And so, as a person who
I
was
love
very
this. Let's pause here for a moment, right? Because I think
sure,
guys, like men, like get stuck in, like, they want to be a good husband. They want to be a good dad. They got really focused on work generally. I'll
yep,
let you know if you can confirm if that's
yes.
the case. And then, and then like didn't even realize or don't realize their marriage is on the rocks. So tell us about how what were you doing? The months leading up to could be years. That's leading up to that point. And what made you really
Yeah.
realize it? Did your wife specifically say something to you, or what happened that made you go, "Oh, I need to think about this."
She never said anything specific. It was more like we weren't talking. We weren't having intimate conversation. Our love life was literally shot. I'm the dad where we're the parents of two special needs children. So all in, all on, all the time. Zach, they're twins, and Zach is autistic, and Jenna's a childhood cancer survivor. She had a leukemia. So you combine the years of dealing with that and years of being broke and managing your life and putting up with all the stuff. And I was a stay-home dad. That was the covenant that I made with Dottie and the twins in order to pull us through all of these challenges.
Wow,
And
that's really crazy. The
yeah.
twins, like, well, like I think
Yeah.
most people can't
Hmm.
like start as new parents, just have like one baby to deal with, and well, ideally the case is like a healthy child, and
Yeah.
it's already a big deal. You got
Hmm.
twins, and they both have issues. How was that? Run me through what that was like.
Well, Jenna had what we affectionately called as chemo brain. So it was like ADHD on steroids. So going through school, going through learning, going through social life was very challenging for her. But that was really the biggest challenge. That said, that was a big challenge for us as parents,
Yeah.
figuring out how to navigate that. Zachary, on the other hand, having autism, we didn't know what to do. We did a lot of training. We had a lot of help, and then both kids needed a lot of therapy. So there were copious amounts of medical appointments that we had to deal with, plus all the challenges with each one of their different specific challenges. And as parents,
Mm.
you're not trained for this stuff. You're just not. So you're sitting through navigating all this, and then you're navigating all the other pressures on the marriage. And you both think that you're right. Neither one wants to concede to the other. So, maritally speaking, the conversations stop and your children are first. And so, for Dottie and I, it was really not anything more than just surviving
Yeah.
every single day, surviving our marriage, surviving the kids, surviving the finances. And then I was like eager beaver. I'm ready to do something. Like I want to go back to school, or I want to start another business, or this or that. but we had no money. So how are you going to invest in that? Are you going to mortgage your house? That's going to add more stress. So you can see
Yeah.
all the different things that are piling on,
Where would you even get the time as well, right? With
and
what?
where would you get the time?
That's crazy.
And so, yeah. And so when you explain this to a lot of people, they look at you like cross-eyed, like I had kids and we didn't have those problems. Or people that don't have kids, they don't realize these types of challenges add this massive envelope over your entire relationship.
Yeah.
And so I knew I had to do something, Carms. And again, you heard a little bit of my story, but honest to God, and your story is super powerful too, by the way. Oh my gosh, so that's like heart-wrenching. But I look at life today so differently than I did then, and the reason why I do is because a really good friend said, "Bri, you got to do this thing. I
Mm.
know your marriage is in trouble." My wife and I, we weren't really doing anything about it. And I took the bull by the horns and I decided, you know what? It's time to do something. And I did. And it changed my life forever. And what it
Was
did
that
was
a
it
guy
put me
friend?
on. No, it was actually a lady friend of mine
I was gonna say,
who,
guys don't tend to do that. Okay.
mm-mm,
Yeah, in
no,
general. Like didn't want to stereotype, but was curious. That's why I asked. Yeah,
no, no,
because
beautiful
female are
question, though.
sensitive to that. Yeah.
I don't think any of my guy friends would ever do that, actually,
Right.
even
Yeah.
today.
Yeah. It's like just let's have another beer, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Uh,
So
that's awesome.
transformationally speaking, what that did was it put me on a trajectory
Yeah.
to learn how to become a more vulnerable person. And I remember, if you remember me sharing this a couple weeks ago, I remember that one night, second day into this 3-day intensive, that I came home and I sat at the kitchen table and I was given this assignment by the leader of this intensive to go home and get vulnerable with your spouse or significant other. And so I didn't plan to. I thought, no, 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 I'm not going to do it. No, I'm screw that. I'm not doing it because guys don't do that. And then I
Yeah.
sat down and I thought, man, bro, you made a commitment to do this thing. So just start sharing. So I sat down, Dottie sat down, started sharing. Before I knew it, Carms, I was in tears. And I'm not a crier. And I was like Niagara Falls flowing. I took total responsibility for my part in our
Mm.
relationship. And circumstantially can't change the circumstances, but what you can change or transform around are all the things that you do to show up, all the ways in which you show up in those circumstances. And that was the biggest thing I learned, that through all these crappy circumstances, I had chosen to be a total a-hole. And I had chosen to not be present with my wife and really not being present with my kids, like just surviving every moment, which was really a crappy way to live.
Yeah.
And so my first introduction to vulnerability. It was super powerful. It showed me that I can fight for my marriage. And today, that's what my whole mantra is about. When I say being extraordinary, I mean taking on extraordinary things, not just saying I'm going to do something extraordinary, but becoming extraordinary to do something extraordinary.
I want
That's
to really dive into this moment, Brian, because I think it's like
sure.
super important, right? Like you say, like most guys, not to their fault. It's like society or cultural beliefs. It's just a lot of guys like don't want to cry, right? Like we've been brought
Right.
up with that belief. It's like it's just men just don't,
Mhm.
right? Like it's like the
Yeah.
stoic thing. And being seen to be crying, it's like maybe that's like I don't know. They'd probably rather die than to have that moment, right? What you're
Probably.
what you're describing there. What really got you to go, okay, I'm going to do this thing? Because I know many men is gonna like be in that moment, but it's like, shit, I'm not gonna do it. Like, even if they somehow got pushed into this, go to some program, it would just be like, yeah, like there's the task. Like you can kind of see how the task is useful, but to actually bring up that conversation, how did you practically do it? Because like every day it hasn't been like that for years, right? So building up to that moment, I assume your wife knew you were going to a program. Was that like, and some guys maybe they don't even want to share it. It's like maybe they'll just do something on the side. But then the moment you walk into the door, how did you bring that conversation up? Like what's the
Hey, honey, our friend brought this to me, and what do you think?
Yeah.
Basically, that was it.
Right. Like just
And
be truthful. Like,
yeah,
yeah, there's a thing.
yeah, well, what is that? And why would you want to go? And oh, yeah,
Did
maybe you
you go?
should go. Nope, she did not go.
Yeah. So she
She did
didn't have
not
the same
go.
experience, but she knew you went, at
She
least.
knew I
It
went,
was
and
supportive.
she was very supportive,
Okay. Yeah.
and and honestly, had no expectations. Neither
Yeah.
one of us did. Like
Mm.
the whole point of going was to experience something that a friend had experienced that said you should probably try this and see if it's something that unlocks something. And sure enough,
Yeah.
it did. And I think the proof was in the pudding that second night when we had this beautiful moment and this huge breakthrough. And
So when you
that's
came home, you
Mhm.
go, okay, it's finished my second day. Did you
Mhm.
go, okay, so I have this homework, which is about sharing of what, like, how did you bring that up?
Oh my goodness, Carms. I was so scared. I seriously, I literally, I remember that moment like it was yesterday, honestly. I
Mm.
remember coming through the door full of emotion, gonna do it, not gonna do it, gonna do it, not gonna do it. And kept like guilting myself, you're a chicken if you don't. Chicken if you
Right.
don't, you know?
Are
And
you
that's what
really a
we
man?
right, you're right. That's what dudes do, right? Like, are you really that was perfect. Are you really a man? You could
Mm.
do this, man. Come on. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna do it. And
Yeah.
so and actually that never actually crossed my mind. Here's what happened.
Mm. Mhm.
When I actually got present with her and actually sat down and said, "Hey, listen, I have a few things I want to share. And this is difficult for me to do it." But our forum leader, Gary, said, "Look, I want you guys to go home." And he gave us this huge challenge. And so this is in the spirit of that. And I do love you, and I do want you to understand what I'm working on. And so I started sharing. And listen, Carms, I think that the thing about the tears was that it just happened,
Yeah.
and it was a full release.
Yeah.
And the power that came from that wasn't here; it was received over there. She
Mm.
saw for the very first time a man that's broken down, that's vulnerable, and sharing from the heart, not from the head.
Mm.
And that was what ultimately saved our marriage and gave us the catalyst to start working on so many other great things. And I have to say, it's not like our marriage is perfect. I mean, we've been married 30 years now, and as of August,
Awesome.
and our kids are 21. They're both seniors at a college in North Idaho, in here close to our home, and there we have our issues still, right?
Yeah, and I love how honest you are with that, right? It's like not saying everything is perfect, but it's like so much better than it once was when all the things are just like ignored, right? What was her reaction when you first started to share? Like what came out of her?
Oh my gosh. Um, Almost a sunken feeling, like, is this real?
This guy? Never seen this guy.
Like, who are you? Uh, and 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 then she settles into the conversation, and then all of a sudden she's rubbing my back and she's in
Oh,
tears
so sweet. Yes. Oh,
with
yeah.
that realization that, wow, like this is real and this is authentic, and this is the first time ever that he's ever owned anything, which isn't necessarily true, but I have no doubt that in her
Own a
mind.
big thing like that. Yeah.
hmm
Mm.
and I also saw this as an opportunity to model this for not only her but my kids. And moving forward, like for me, Carms, this has been my mantra now for the last 12 years of my life, through all my training and through all the work that I've done, um, to always look at myself as a person that can model behavior and model transformation and model the work, because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, people don't care what you say. They only care what you do and what
Yeah.
they see, right?
Kids are observing that for sure.
And adults.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
You're right.
adults.
Like, and we, it's like there's a point when we just go, the thing we're doing, it's not quite working. I love that you talk about the modeling. It's like, hey, if someone have found a better way, why? if we're smart, why would we not take that? Why would we not learn to input that in our life?
Right?
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. I think you're a perfect example of that. Look what you're creating in your own life, and you've accomplished so much, and yet here you are creating and creating and creating over and over and over, and in a very real way, what you do with your podcast and with everything else you do is modeling success and modeling messaging, and I just think there's so many ways to do that.
Mhm.
Um, and if you want to be a successful leader in your community, and leadership is a very subjective term, right? So I've just used that very loosely. But if you want to be successful as a leader in your family, a leader in your business, and a leader in your community, or a leader in your nonprofit, then you have to be willing to model the things that people want to emulate and or would love to see themselves being. And that's not for me to say that I'm trying to get in their head and say, oh my gosh, like I want to model this thing because I know you want to be that. That's not it at all. It's that people want to be inspired by somebody and or by people that are doing their work, walking their walk and talking their talk. And that was the starting point for us in 2013, and here we are today.
I want to talk about the relationship piece. Um,
Sure.
when if like when a relationship gets to that point when people are not really close, but you're together in a marriage and like all these years have passed, um, both people are kind of like have things that they should have done, right? Like it's never a one-sided thing. Like it's
Mm.
sure like yeah, you call yourself an a-hole and you kind of own that part. But there's like the other piece too, right?
Yeah.
Like what could she have done? And um when you look at that, like yes, of course you can give advice to the men. It's like, hey, this is how the things I didn't do, and this is how I stood up, right? Like I started to own certain things. Um, how if a guy is kind of like, no, Brian, like I'm doing that stuff, I'm doing the personal development, I'm doing the reading, like she's the one that's not doing the work. Um,
Mm.
what's your advice in terms of like, hey, maybe they're not into personal development, but they don't see the benefit either because well, women generally, in this circumstance especially, I think people can picture, well, she will be so busy just like looking after the kids, taking them to
Mhm.
whether it's special education or other curriculum generally parents have anyway. And
Yeah,
then to get them to school, like the taking care of the house and getting the food, like all of that is already a lot. So when do
it
they get
is.
time to do personal development and all this other, what advice would you have on that?
Oh, wow,
Bringing
that is
them,
a loaded that's a loaded question. Well, let's start here.
yeah.
First, it's just acknowledging that there's a situation or an issue or that things just aren't on the tracks.
Mm,
Um, when I think the starting point for anybody in any one of those situations is to just acknowledge, hey, something's not working. Neither party is satisfied with what's happening, like with where our relationship is at. And so that's the number one thing. The second thing would be then to
yeah.
start a conversation, right? Start a conversation with your spouse and open up to them that, hey, I noticed that our relationship isn't where it was when we married how many years ago. And are you experiencing the same thing that I'm experiencing?
Mm, yeah.
Because that creates space to have a conversation, and it's not me throwing barbs over the wall at you, Carms, or trying to make
Right.
accusations. Like that's
Yeah.
where people get into trouble. It's a
Right.
real
Exactly.
honest, present based conversation. Hey, I notice what are you seeing? What are you experiencing? And then
But when we
and then
hear the
number
blame stuff on the table, which tends to, we can all imagine how this will go, right? Like it might start off with a good intention. You sit down there, it's like, what about the time when you did this and that? Like, what happens when all the fires are thrown?
when all the fires are thrown, right, you better hope you have a really good fire hose. um, like
Because there's one person that has to be intentionally holding this, right?
yes.
Because they want to. So, what advice should that person keep in mind whilst they're in this when the fire is on the table? Because that
Yep.
probably has been like a let's say a pattern in the past. Otherwise, people wouldn't ignore it, right? There's only so much
Mhm.
reasons why you wouldn't talk about it because conversation wasn't safe. Otherwise, you wouldn't be talking about this whole time, right? So
That's right.
when this is happening, what's the critical thing to remember?
Do you love this person?
Mm,
Is this person worth fighting for? Is this marriage worth fighting for? And really, that's all you have to know.
mm,
And if you have answers to those questions, and really it's only two questions, right? I mean,
right.
do you love
Yeah.
this person and are you willing to fight for this relationship?
Yeah. Beautiful. So beautiful.
Yeah. And honestly, if you can answer those two questions honestly and authentically, not just make up a bunch of BS about it. Oh, I think she loves me. Or
Mm,
yeah, I mean, yeah, we married like 10 years ago and it was awesome. And then, gosh, 5 years ago, all the sex dropped off and we stopped talking and da 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 da. Da. And yeah, I
mm,
still love her and I know she loves me. And okay, but based on what? Right? Does she love you back reciprocally? And actually, that's not as important as do you love her and are you willing to fight for this relationship? And if you answer yes to both of those, game on, game on. And it's time for you as that individual, and it could be the either spouse, like husband or wife, but in my case I work with men and and I have for many years, and if there's an opportunity there for that fellow to own that and say, yeah, I'm willing to fight for this, then that's where the work begins. And when your spouse can see you doing your work to transform yourself and you take ownership for your stuff, magic happens. It's powerful and it's so graceful too, because now you're not fighting over stuff. You're not fighting over whether or not I love you or don't love you. Now, that said, if you don't love the person, well, now we have a different conversation, right? But there is still a very amicable way to generate some resolution there. Like, why don't you still love that person? Is there something in the space that's how do you stop loving that person? And how do they feel about you? And are you still willing to fight for this relationship? Because at one time, when you married, you clearly did. At least that's the assumption. And I should be careful with that because clearly there are some people that do marry for other reasons other than love, and
mm.
it's rare, but it happens,
Yeah. We'll go
unfortunately.
on this. Like we'll go under the assumption you married out of love. Otherwise, it's like
Yes,
a whole different like a whole different box. No, you're
totally.
right. I think most people would be then, yeah, I would want to give it one last shot, right?
Mhm.
Mm,
Absolutely. And most people do if they are set into the right circumstances or they set themselves up for that success. And that really starts, like I said, with a conversation, asking a couple questions and then creating a conversation. And then creating a clear agreement on how you want to move forward. Like, what does that look like? Do we need to go see our pastor? I mean, if you're a religious person, do you need to have some support there? Do you need counseling? Do you need to have some coaching? Do you need to have like here in the United States? I don't know about in Australia, but here in the States, we have a thing called or a program called marriage encounters, which is generally for couples before they marry, but there are programs like that are designed to help you get in a different space. The whole point is, we could go on and on and on about strategy and how to actually develop a program to move people through that fire, right,
yeah.
without getting burned. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to integrity and resolve and being willing to own your stuff. Really, that's what it comes
So
down to.
true. Like, when I'm having this conversation, I'm reflecting on like past relationships, right? And you're right, like there'll be the relationship where I wasn't at my best, right? Like in my younger days, I used to like love winning the argument, right? Like I'll flip the table. Every time I'll somehow like I'll be at fault and I'll still flip the table to like, as if like I won the argument, right? And then I got to this point where I'm just like, no, you're causing stress to this like it's not working. It's not working. Like, what was the point of winning? Like, why do you have to be right? You know, like it's like why? Like you know you get that hit of
Hmm.
like I won, but then the week afterwards it's like the relationship is not better. So it's not a win. Like you long term just caused a suffering and like an extra dent to this relationship, right? So
Yeah.
it's so true that like those were the two questions I basically asked. Not marriage, but it's like the relationship, right? It's like, well, do you love this
Yeah.
person? And do you want to like do you want this relationship to go to the long haul? Like, do you want to continue this? And it's like yes and yes. Then with that, I actually just changed. I'm like, we can't approach it. You can't approach it this way. Like, then you're just sabotaging your own relationship. So then I stop all of that behavior, like forever, actually. And then I just chose differently because I saw it. I think for a long time it's just like the ego just didn't let you see that at one point, right? Then it's like, why would I even do
Mm-mm.
that? It doesn't make any sense. But then afterwards, then I'm learning a different lesson, right? I was with someone and then now I'm the honest person. Now I'm like the whole like I'm not hiding stuff. I'm like, I'm like willing to fight for the relationship and let's talk about it. Let's have honest conversation. And it was like, hey man, like this thing is not working. Yeah, you happy in this thing? It's like the thing is like the
Mm.
response I got was like the false response. It's like they were just like faking like yeah like he's going yeah this thing is great, what's wrong with it? It's like like and I'm kind of bringing the things up that's like hey, these things are kind of
Mhm.
like not working the pieces and like I want to talk about them. And so I brought up like relationship consultations, right? Like couple therapy. I've never done it, like I don't really want to do it either, but it's like it what have you got to lose at this point? That's the thing I'm fighting for. Like I don't know, but like I don't know how to solve it. You don't. So it's like let's just see somebody
Mhm.
else, a third party, so it's neutral. Um, he was very opposed to that. And because that was the
Mhm.
case, I didn't know where to go from there. So I did end up walking away because I just didn't feel like there's anything I could like if we can't talk about it, there's
Mhm.
nothing we could do. And that did end up with him wanting to talk about everything, but it was like after I've given up, right? Like it's like I already let go of it all. It's like, okay, well, I can't fight for someone that doesn't want to fight for it. And then
Mhm.
it's like far too late. So for the guys, there is the window, right? Where people are willing to fight for. Like either way, really. There's a window where
Yeah.
people are willing to fight. And so how did
Yep.
I make sure they are present to fight for it when it's available before it's too late?
Yeah. Whew. That's a timing question, and that question comes down to heart.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah. So,
I, you've obviously heard I mean, it's very common nowadays to hear about the distinction between head and heart or heart and head. You know, your head is designed to protect you, right? And keep you safe and keep you in your comfort zone. And your heart is the thing that pulls you out of your comfort zone. It gets you on the edge and but it also helps you with authenticity and taking risk. And I think that timing is all about risk for some people. You know, I'm like my marriage or my relationship is not real solid. It's not on a good solid footing, right? And yet, how much more do I want to risk? Do I want to risk going to couples counseling? Because then
and
there would be
looking a
an
bit silly.
admission. Yeah, right. And an admission that, oh, there's something wrong. Oh,
Yeah.
well, yeah. Well, there's something wrong with me.
Uh-huh.
Well, no, it's not that at all.
Yeah.
But, right. And so the
Yeah.
head is getting in the way saying, oh, no, no, you don't want to do that. You just want to stay here. It's nice and cozy in this little shell you call a marriage that's not working, right? And or relationship or
Yeah.
and so it's a timing thing, but it's also a heart and risk thing. And you know, are you willing to jump out of your comfort zone
Mm.
and admit, again, it comes back to the question of ownership,
Yeah.
owning your stuff. And when you can own that, oh man, I was a total, you know what, to my wife all these years. And and wow, if I were on the receiving end of that, I would probably not be a happy person in this relationship either. And that's ownership. And then, so what do I want to do with that? Well, I want to own it, share it, This is what my observation is. I apologize for what I have brought to this relationship. Now, moving forward, what's next? Let's do some healing around it. Let's have some conversation with a marriage counselor, which we did for years. We had a marriage counselor, and we went and spoke to our priest because we're Catholic, and which was, either neither here nor there. I mean, priests don't get married either, but they are very good counselors. A lot of times they do listen. So, we had the faith component involved as well. And I think at the end of the day, by the way, I just like to share that this conversation can also apply to people that are business owners, to people that are in other types of relationships, right? I mean, if you're a partner in a business or you have an opportunity to invest in a business and be part of a consortium or a group, those relationships are every bit as important as a marriage, different, but there's a financial component, there's a personal component, there are all sorts of components that when you learn these skills and you're able to really get good at them, and we don't want to practice with a marriage, or a relationship necessarily, or intimate relationship, but that oftentimes is where these kinds of transformations occur.
You are so right.
Um,
Like I've heard so many business partnership burnt stories, because they weren't talking about it. It's like, okay, they kind of did the verbal deal, there's no contract or something, or very loose ones. And
yeah.
then and it's all well and good at the beginning because it sounded really fun. But then when people start making money and it's actually a big portion of their life, they invested time, energy, finance, all sorts of things, connections, like all these pieces. Now it becomes something that you didn't even think it would be. So now the fight happens, right? And then it's the same. You're right. It's the same conversation, which you're talking about, like everything you brought up. It's like ownership, authenticity, and then yeah, like, are you willing to
Communication.
communicate
Yeah.
that, like
Yeah.
actually put it on the table to talk about it rather than like, oh, it's okay, it'll somehow sort itself out, or like they're not, like it's like if you're not happy with something, you can't just assume they are
Hmm.
still going to continue doing the right thing and then you get frustrated and then resent them for it when it's never talked about, right?
That's right. How many times have you seen this? I
A
mean,
lot, man. Some of these are writing a lot of money. Like, I mean, whether it's like a
yeah.
relationship which ends up in divorce, which is also a lot of money, or whether it's like
Oh,
a
yes.
business thing, which is like both. Both is just headache, like so much emotion involved, mentally drained, and finance, like everything like going out, right? It's
Oh
hard.
my
That's
God.
why I
Yeah.
was like digging deep
Absolutely.
into this stuff. It's like, because it's so
Mhm.
important.
It is, and that's why I'm writing a book about our origin story. But and in fact, tomorrow I have my second meeting with my writing coach with the publisher, and the first question out of his mouth was, "Do you want this to be a book about or like actually an autobiography about your life and about your origin, or would you like this to actually be a book that has some power and some teeth that's going to help transform other people's lives?" And that was like a no-brainer. Hello, yes, of course, that's where I'd like it to go because I really feel, Carms, that there are a lot of people in the world that work with men and women for that matter in these types of scenarios.
Mm,
But I think if there's anything that we learned 2 weeks ago in Miami, it's that every human being's unique story and experience will not only attract certain people, but will actually help a lot of different people, whereas others cannot. And I think that our story is just so I mean, we have a crazy story. We don't have time to go through the whole thing here today, but we clearly have a story that is about all the things we talked about, but generating a life that you love starts with all the things we talked about. And that's what I really want to write about is here's our story. Here are all the things we overcame and all the challenges we had. And here we are still today, persevering through and loving every minute of it. And yeah, again, we have our moments in life, but if I could save one marriage, if I could save one business partnership, if I could help one human being generate a life that's beyond what they're currently living, that is what's extraordinary to me. And that's why I'm doing it. And I expect it to become a really popular book. I really, really do. But we'll see. We'll see. Like every author probably says that, but I'm very excited about this opportunity to get it out there.
I really
Yeah.
love this, Brian. I really do. It's because all your energy like shows, like, and I'm sure, like, if we when we put this out, I want people to see it, like, and actually comment on this, right? Like, I think all the ladies will be able to see, like, it's just so attractive to see a man that's vulnerable and taking ownership. It's like there's nothing more attractive than that. And funny enough, I think a lot of men like don't want to show that bit because they want to be a man. It's like, what, like, do you want to attract the ladies or do you want to just look cool for the bros? Like, like, right? Like,
hmm
yeah.
Yep,
And
it's
like,
true.
but like, you see so many men like just really rigid. It's like, well, why do we want to talk to a stone wall? Like, this not, it's not fun. Like, that's not fun. Like, what person wouldn't want like a more fun? It's like, but the guys will probably have fun with their bros, right? Like they show a different side, like because they don't have to be like, oh, look, whatever front they're putting up. It's like, no, you could just be the fun guy like this guy I'm seeing on
I
screen,
love,
right?
dude,
Which
I
is
love having fun. I
comfortable in your body, like, your word, like, even like your voice is like tonality you're speaking. It's like, it's so fun. There's like it varies, right? Because it's like, you've just
Mm.
embraced that part. It's not like I have to be all serious all the time because I'm like so macho, right? But it's like
Uh,
all of this, it really comes through the screen. And I really hope the audience is like, oh, yeah, I like this, man. Yeah, I want to be like that guy. Because that's leadership too, right? Like even when we're talking about leadership, how
mhm.
many of us go into those leadership meeting and it's like super boring? Dudes in suits say their speech as everyone is like trying to just not fall asleep and getting their coffee. First, you imagine having the leader that takes ownership. It's like doesn't matter when shit goes wrong, but it's like
Mm-mm.
you taking ownership even in a company. I remember like when companies gone on transformation or they have to lay off staff and all those difficult things that tend to happen, a leader that like not telling the employees what's going on and that everyone is guessing it like everyone's is in a really bad place. Like just I see the morals like they're just going
Yeah.
down and then they just like stressed because like what's happening, I like they're just every day they're walking up to work they're just anxious if they're gonna like lose their job versus like somebody that's like I remember seeing one of our leaders, one of the CEO, like actually just one day just he was just like he looked really tired. He just showed up and go, look,
Mhm.
this is what's happening. X amount of people will like, will have to leave and whatnot. But this is what's in the plan, and that like we're retaining most of the staff, and just having that really honest conversation. It's like that provided us so much more ease across the company when that happened. But that took a long time for that conversation to occur.
Well, that leader probably learned the hard way that, right? And that's what leaders do. We always learn through failure.
Mm,
It seems that we do anyway. And I've led, not only my family and my business, but I helped co-found a children's foundation here in Spokane, Washington, about what is that, almost 15 years ago, to help children pay for or families of children with disabilities and special needs pay for therapy and therapeutic services. Obviously, here we don't have socialized health care, so a lot of things are based on your private insurance, and when that runs out, you have all sorts of other costs that come up. And so, having been a co-founder, and I was vice president for a while, and then I was president up until this April. You have difficult conversations with your board and with your executive director and with people that are around you. And I learned through this experience that when you have to not only own your stuff but put it on loudspeaker, and people appreciate that and they see it for what it is. So when you are talking about this CEO who's sharing with the company where he's at or she's at, I'm assuming it's he,
mm,
um, y- that's powerful.
yeah.
And it also creates space for everybody else to realize, yeah, we can have our moments too, and no harm, no foul. Like there's always an impact, but by putting it out there, the impact is and the risks are limited, typically speaking, unless it's something, financially atrocious. But generally speaking, when we're talking about this kind of ownership, it's generally a decision that was made that maybe shouldn't have been made, or a conversation that perhaps went sideways, or things that most people look from from the outside in and say, well, that was pretty benign. Like, really, you're owning that? But in the moment, there's always an impact. And so, yeah, I think it's really a cool point that you're making, and it I it offers people another way to communicate and solidly
Mm,
communicate and enroll people in what they're up to. Because when people can see you're genuine, honest, authentic, and aligned in your own belief system, and you put that on a loudspeaker, and then you own the stuff that's causing you angst or heartache or whatever, and you're being vulnerable about it,
mm.
that just creates so much amazing energy around you, I believe, anyway. And so maybe that's part of what you see with me, is that you met me, what, 2.5, 3 weeks ago in Miami.
Yeah.
The person you met is the same person you're talking to today. When I'm privately with my wife, we get like I'm what I affectionately call an extroverted introvert. So one of those people that when I'm alone, I love my quiet time, and I love to really just hunker down in a book or into my iPad or into a movie, sometimes with Dottie. But when I'm in it, I'm in it to win it, and I just love life, and I have so much fun, and yeah, it's just really fun. Anyway, I could go on.
That is awesome, man. I love this. Okay, so for the listeners, if they want to hear more about your work, what's the best place to find Brian Price?
Oh my gosh. Well, you can find me. My website is www.brianpricecoaching.com. And you can also find me on LinkedIn. I'm available at, let's see, my handle would be Brian M. Price. So LinkedIn /in/ Brian M. Price. And then I would say, based on both of those two uh, I don't
Platforms?
want to say profiles, platforms. Thank you. Had a brain fart for a second. I'm really easy to reach. So I'm just a very approachable human being. Doesn't matter to me who you are. I will return your message. I will be glad to talk to you about whatever. And if you have some insights that you want to share about your own relationships or whatnot, always love to hear. And yeah, so those are the two easiest ways to reach me for sure.
That's super awesome, man. I love it. And if you guys are hearing this, definitely hit him up. Well, I know he says this now, and he may have some time now, but I'm gonna imagine in the future when his book is released, if some of that time might disappear really quick, and he's like, "Oh man, I really would have wanted to answer everybody, and somehow all these emails is like flooded my inbox." So yeah, take your window of opportunity whilst it's available.
Ah,
Thank you so much, Brian. Thank you for coming
yeah.
on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me, Carm. So much fun. You're amazing. God bless you.
Excel in life, live your purpose, be free.